Great. Well, welcome everybody. As Christine mentioned, my name is Carrie Oliva. I'm the academic director here at Into Suffolk. And today we want to share more information about the different programs that we offer and how we can support you in your academic success. And we're very excited to welcome you in a few short weeks. Next slide. So I just wanted to start with some important date reminders. For those students who are living on campus, the move-in day is January 8th, anytime from 9 to 5. And our mandatory orientation starts the next day, January 9th, through the 12th. So all students are required to attend orientation. We have a lot of important information and fun events for you, and it's also a great opportunity to meet more staff, faculty, and other students before starting your classes. All students will also receive their course schedule during orientation. And it's a great opportunity to be able to review that with your academic advisor and team to make sure that you understand where to go and what your classes will be for the following week.
I'll jump in here if that's okay.
Yes.
All students are required to do something called e-check-in. That's their electronic check-in before they arrive. You can log into WebAdvisor to get to your e-check-in. You have to have your university username and password in order to be able to do e-check-in. So if you don't have it, please contact us so we can get you your username and password. Once you're in My Advisor, you click on Students and then go to My Personal Information. You can kind of see it on the screen. Click on the e-check-in on the screen. Read and complete each form carefully before checking the box and clicking Submit. This is where you'll give us your local address and contact information. And it's very important that the information is correct and accurate that you give us in the e-check-in. If you're having any problems with that, you can reach out to us for help.
Thank you. So this is in reminders for undergraduate students. So I don't think we have anyone on the call, but I will just go over this for everyone's information. It is important that undergraduate students take what's called a math placement exam, and this helps us to determine the correct math course for you according to your major. We can't finalize your schedule until we know what your math placement will be. This also goes over directions on how to access the exam. It's hosted on the Student Experience website. The exam can take, on average, 30 minutes. It depends. There's no studying necessary. This is just to be a natural assessment of your math. Some students need a little more time and some students go faster, and that's completely fine, but you must take the exam in one sitting. You cannot pause, do something else and come back. It is also important that you have a good connection to Wi-Fi when you take the test, and you disable pop-up blockers because that could cause some access issues. You really need to use a laptop or a desktop. It does not work from mobile application well at all. Also, some students forget to hit submit at the end, so they go through the entire test and forget to hit submit. You must hit that button so we can receive and review your results. If you're having any problems accessing this, please reach out to us. using the contact information at the end, because we can help you try to solve problems to your access before arrival. If you cannot do this before arrival, we will have a time during orientation on January 9th for you to take this on campus. Okay. So the general topics for today are going to be program overviews, academic expectations and materials that you might need, and also a summary of all of the support that Into Suffolk provides. The first program overview is for academic English. Academic English is non-credit English preparation. We have 6 levels of instruction from beginner to advanced. All students take a placement test upon arrival to Boston, so we can learn more about your writing, speaking, and we also have a computer-based grammar and vocabulary test. Again, there's no studying needed. This is just to make sure that we put you in the correct level of instructions, and my team reviews the results. We have a meeting with you during orientation to talk about our recommended classes. For academic English, all students are in class for 18 hours a week with a total of 4 classes. Every student has a reading and writing grammar course and a listening and speaking course, plus 2 other courses that may change depending on your level. So some examples are American Cultural Studies, Life in the US, continued grammar and pronunciation, refinement for higher level students. So what we want you to learn is the necessary academic skills to be successful in an academic program. About 85 to 87% of our students from academic English start a degree program, either undergraduate or graduate, but they don't have to. So a student can only do academic English and go home or go somewhere else. That's completely fine. We're here to support the students in figuring out what the next best step is. I do want to just highlight that on the transcript, these are real classes. So even though there's 0 credit, they count. We have progression requirements. They're graded with a letter grade, A through F, and they appear on an academic transcript for official purposes. So they should be taken just as seriously as any of the credit-bearing courses. Next. So International Year 1 is our undergraduate programs, and based on the admission criteria, students might be in this program for 1 semester, 2 semesters, or even 3 semesters. Pre-arrival, students choose 5, they have 5 options: business, which is our most popular, computer science, general College of Arts and Sciences, which is social sciences, anything really non-business related, science and math, and then art and design. So you must choose one of those. You take the math placement exam, as I mentioned earlier, and then we have prescribed recommended curriculum for the 1, 2, and 3 semester. We register you, my team, for your courses. What is the same is for the 1 semester and the 2 semester, all students are required to take English for academic purposes courses. These are 4 credit courses, and they count towards your degree, but they're to also help you prepare and perfect your English. Undergraduate students, it's recommended you take 15 to 17 credits each semester in order to graduate in the recommended 4 years. Some students take longer, and that's completely fine as well, but we always try to make sure that you're registered for the minimum of 15. Immigration requirement is 12, but 15 to 17 keeps you on the right path. If you don't know your major yet, that's okay. We have undecided options, and part of my job and your academic advisor job, Claire, who you'll meet at orientation, our job is to help you decide that and learn about what kind of careers, professions, and understanding what each major means. Suffolk's website is a great resource. So if you haven't already, I recommend that you explore the different majors before you come, so you can start to get an idea of your specific interest. Next. And last but not least is our integrated master's program. These are graduate level programs. All graduate students have a combination of academic English courses and credit-bearing courses. We have 3 different schools: the Sawyer Business School, College of Arts and Sciences, and the Law School. Students are admitted into either a 2-semester program or a 1-semester program. And the content of the academic English courses are a bit different depending on your level. And the courses that you're going to take are very different because these majors are so different. So business analytics looks very different than an MBA or a applied politics course. And so our job is to advise you during orientation. You'll receive your schedule and what your spring semester looks like, but also what your entire program of study looks like. So credits and time to degree is very important session that you will have during orientation. Just another reminder, the academic English courses for the integrated master program are also 0 credit, but we expect that you maintain at least a B average in these courses. They're just as important, and they're designed to support you in your credit-bearing courses. Next. Okay. So general expectations, we will have an American Classroom presentation during orientation that will discuss this in a little more detail, but I like to remind students that, in the US, arriving on time and attending all of your classes, participating in class, which might be asking questions or submitting questions on Canvas, that could be different depending on the course, but active participation is expected in the classes. We remind students to minimize distractions. I know technology is a benefit in many ways, but if you have a call, from somebody at home overseas, please leave the classroom quietly and try to plan any appointments or personal matters around your course schedule, because missing one class can really set you behind, especially in a graduate program when sometimes your classes only meet once or twice a week. That could be like missing a whole week of content, and you don't want to fall behind. We definitely understand that life happens. Sometimes people get sick or have family emergencies, and that's okay. Christine and I are here to support and help you those times. So please communicate. Don't be afraid to ask us for support and help if that happens. We encourage you to attend our academic workshops and social activities throughout the semester. It's a fun way to meet new friends, but also a great way to practice your English outside of the classroom. I really ask that you understand your academic schedule during orientation. Ask those questions if you don't understand what a code or abbreviation means. Probably 3 other students have the same question. So please ask us. We'll do our best to explain, but sometimes we might forget a detail. So I always like that you ask before the first day so you can arrive on time and understand, where you need to be and when. Moving forward, checking your Suffolk email is really crucial, very important, because all of the correspondence from the university and from your faculty will go directly to Suffolk email. So make sure once you arrive that you can log in and are checking those emails every day. Communicate with your advisors and your instructors. Like I said, we want to hear from you. We want to help you. We can't help you if we don't know what's happening. So please don't save any questions until the end of the semester when it might be too late. If you're not happy with a class or you're wondering how to speak to a professor about something, we are all here to help you navigate those situations. I also encourage you to review your course syllabi. Some you'll receive a hard copy, a paper copy on the first day of class, but many will be posted to Canvas, which are learning management system. So when you have access and the course is published, you can start as soon as you see that, just to review it. I recommend sometimes reading it before class because you can think about your questions that you might have for the teachers during that first week of class. That's a lot of information, but I'm happy to answer questions at the end. Like I mentioned, Canvas is Suffolk's learning management system. All of the course syllabi, assignments, announcements go through this system. So you want to become familiar with it. It's very user-friendly. I think it's very clean, very well organized, but we do have resources for students to practice if you'd like to. There's also a lot of videos online and on Suffolk's platform. I use the help videos often if I can't figure something out. We will also have a brief overview at orientation, I believe, and we are trying to set up a little bit more training. Instructors will go over some basics, but it is your responsibility to become comfortable so you don't miss this information. Next. So what do you need for the first day? Everyone learns differently. Some people like to take notes on a laptop. Some people like to write down. I recommend always having a pen, pencil, paper with you for the first day, and organizing your materials in either a binder or a folder, utilizing either an electronic calendar or a paper calendar, depending on your style, and textbooks. So it's not required that you buy all of your books before the first day, but we will have a campus tour and you will be able to do it before if you'd like. Some of them are available on Amazon. There's a lot of ways textbooks can be, some are not hard copies anymore. Some are electronic textbooks that you can rent. There's a lot of different options we'll review at orientation for you, but you certainly do not need to buy them now and pack them in your luggage to come. We can do all of that upon arrival. Technology, most certainly you will need to use a laptop. If you have any problems, financing or getting a laptop, we do have some lending options on campus, so please come see us. There's also computer labs and options to use computers in our library, which is in our center. It's very close by, and also a smartphone. You're in luck because Into Suffolk is right downtown. There's a lot of shopping, maybe too much shopping, but there are stores, pharmacies that you can buy school supplies, such as Target, Walgreens, and CVS. Walgreens and CVS you can walk to, and Target is a short train ride away. There's also a smaller Target you could walk to as well. So depending on what you need to buy, it should be pretty easy, and we can point those out during orientation week. There's also clothing stores. You'll need winter clothes for those of you from warmer climates. The cold can be a little bit shocking. So if you need gloves, hats, all of that fun items, it's all within walking distance of campus. This is the more detail about textbooks. You will see that there is a website on the student experience site. I think there's a video as well. We have a bookstore on Suffolk's campus, and they have the books that you should need, but sometimes the prices are more expensive. So there are some other options that you can learn about, either going on Amazon or through the retail sites. So every course is a bit different for what they need. I encourage you to read online and ask questions during orientation. And we can also direct you to the bookstore, which will be open in January for you to visit. Support. So we have a lot of support. This is the picture of one of our academic English instructors with some students in our lounge. Suffolk University has a large tutoring center called Center for Learning and Academic Success, and they have tutors for writing and all content areas such as math and statistics. So if you're struggling in a course or you simply want to review, you can make an appointment with a tutor on campus. This is all included in your tuition fee. So I always recommend students try to use these resources at Suffolk before, hiring an outside tutor, because this is a free service to you and they are very familiar with our curriculum. Some classes you'll notice you might have a student instructional leader or a TA, a teaching assistant. Not all, but some. Your academic advisor will be Claire Engelfinger, and you'll meet her at orientation. But for the graduate students, you're also going to have another advisor who is a specialist in your area, such as business analytics. We will have workshops, academic workshops. You'll receive a calendar of all of this. So if you need help with presentation skills or learning how to read and think more critically, please attend what best suits you. All instructors are also required to have at least an hour available during their week as an office hour to you, where you can meet to review assignments or get questions answered. If you're not comfortable asking the question in class and you prefer to do that more privately, that will be outlined on your syllabus with a time and location. Suffolk has academic coaching to help students with time management, planning, accessing more resources in terms of executive functioning and processing. Please come see me or Claire about that if you're interested. And you will see that we will have a schedule of 3 to 4 English language workshops, peer conversation hours, which are in our center, and also the instructor office hours that I already mentioned are for both academic English and your credit-bearing courses. So it's for everything. We have probably more support than you'll ever need, but please know you don't have to do everything. It's kind of learning what suits you, and to understand that asking for help is not a bad thing. It's actually a sign of strength for us. And so, coming to us early, and if you're not clear on what resource might help you the best, me and my team are here. Those are the questions we always want to help students answer. Okay. Next. Contact us. So we keep saying, come see us, come see us. Obviously, when you're in Boston, you'll see our faces. And we'll show you where our offices are located. But pre-arrival, the best email is info@suffolk.edu for any specific questions. And I've mentioned the student experience website a couple of times, where you can find math placement information, videos for textbooks. So please, as part of your homework over the next month, try to visit that and go through the material to be prepared. We obviously have social media. There's our Instagram and Into Suffolk and Into Suffolk Students. You can follow events and announcements that we post and join to become more connected with the community even before you arrive. So, and I see we had one more student join. Diego, welcome. This is recorded, so you can have access to the recording after. But I'm happy to answer any questions that anyone has. You can put them in the chat, or you can simply unmute yourself, whatever is easier.